In this video, we're going to tell you what keto flu is.
What does it look like?
What does it feel like?
Why does it happen?
And the 4 things you can do about it.
Hi, I'm Liz Scattergood and I'm a clinical holistic therapist.
And I'm Scats. I'm a musician and a music therapist with type 2 diabetes.
But not for much longer.
Because we'll show you that with a ketogenic lifestyle and intermittent fasting, diabetes can be beaten.
And we can lose weight, become more healthy and live longer.
So help yourselves to what we're learning by doing this. Subscribe.
And click on the bell.
So, keto flu, what does it look like?
Well, we took this video of Scats about 2 weeks ago when he was struggling with what we think is keto flu. So we just thought that you'd like to see what it looks like for real, because describing it's all very well, but actually being able to see somebody who's going through it is a lot easier.
Yeah, and look out for Luna the dog, who video bombed us during this video, because otherwise it could have been quite a slow video of me going, got keto flu, but Luna made it very worthwhile. So watch this, have a laugh, and we'll see you in a minute.
Okay. Oh, there's Pip.
Hello. Hello. Are you happy today, Pip?
We're not feeling fantastic today, are we?
No.
What's going on for you, honey?
What's going on? No, I just woke up feeling low. I feel like it's... oh no, I've been off... Hey! She keeps us happy, don't you?
Yeah.
Just not a lack of strength, but a lack of get up and go. Really.
Yeah.
Sometimes this happens.
Yeah.
It's not very like me. I'm normally a bit
not.
of a workaholic.
Being a
And
perfectionist that you are, that's the thing.
Yeah, normal and natural. Even if...
with a photo bombing dog here, look, there's her nose.
Just keeps coming. There's her nose.
I know, she's just like, we're here at where we walk, and why aren't we getting out of the car?
Yes, you were doing a video instead. Dad, you were doing this the other day when we were walking. You were interrupting my walk.
Yeah.
Wasn't I? Interrupting your walk. So, that's what keto flu looks like from the outside. Oh.
It can be different for different people. You can feel a bit sluggish, or you can actually feel actual physical aches. You might even feel hungry. There's a lot of different things that can happen. It just feels like a pretty naff day, really, for everybody concerned. That's the sort of symptoms that we've experienced anyway.
And it's not like the tiredness that I used to get when I was eating the normal diet with carb-rich food. You know, that sort of dip that you get when you've had a meal, you know, an hour or two later you get that, where your blood sugar's gone down low and you just feel rotten. And I used to get that, didn't I, when I was...
That was one thing that was really awful for you. I always used to feel really sorry for you, because it just kind of took over your whole physical being.
I'm in mental state, grumpy and awful.
You just couldn't do anything. You couldn't speak to him. You couldn't do anything.
And it'd be like I'd be talking really quiet like this.
Yeah, and I couldn't hear what he was saying. So half the time I was having to go, what? You know. So poor old Scats. Anyway, that doesn't happen anymore.
So, but the keto flu, we think it happens. We're still learning about this. This is an ongoing experience, and just like all of these videos we make, this is going to be something that we will continue to update you on if and when it happens again. But I think we have some solutions. So carry on watching to the end of the video, and you'll get all of the different information that we've got so far. Yeah. And there are 3 times we think that this kind of thing happens.
Definitely.
And here is number 1.
You'll probably notice the first onset of keto flu during the first few days that you start to lower your carbohydrates. And when you're in proper ketosis, it can take some time to switch your fuel, because your body has been used to burning carbohydrates that it breaks down into glucose. Your body has to relearn how to use a different energy.
I used to think that it was like, I've got a hybrid car now because I was trying to be eco-friendly and energy conscious. And there's a particular switchover point where it changes fuel. And I used to think that it was like that when you deplete your glucose reserves and suddenly click, you go into keto and then suddenly you feel great. But it's not quite like that. It's more about different levels. Yeah. You're reducing one, then you can start burning fats. The less carbs that you're taking in, the more you start to burn fat. And at that point, when your glucose is getting low and your body's still not quite got into ketosis, it doesn't switch on like that, but it takes a little bit of time to get there. And I think that's the point when you feel the sort of drain of energy and you just think, oh.
And that's when all of a sudden you'll suddenly feel it come in. like Scatz's hybrid car, you suddenly feel the pull of the petrol coming in, and that's when you start to feel a lot better.
Yeah, so if you get that fluey feeling where you're all sort of drained, just remember what's going to happen next. Your body is about to evolve, it's going to change, it's going to start burning the fat, and you will feel better. You'll get that wonderful keto feeling, that energy where you level out, and instead of having your spike of energy and a dip like you do when you're feeding on glucose, then you'll get that lovely energy and you'll be able to do so much more. So that's number one. What about number two? So the second time you get keto flu is when you slip out of ketosis. And that can happen if you have too many carbs in your daily diet or if you have too much protein. So if you have too many carbs, what happens there?
Your body will kind of just revert back to where it was before. And so of course this can only cause a delay. It's like moving 2 steps forward and then going 1 step back. So you may end up going back into that keto flu phase again. It's quite possible that can happen. If we eat too much protein, which is too much meat, cheese, fish, that group of foods, then the liver will actually turn it into glycogen. And what happens then is it's released into the body as glucose, upping the insulin, and so we end up coming out of insulin resistance once again. And that can also put you a day or two back. Hopefully, if you're lucky, that's all it'll be.
Yep, so it's important to know your macros, and that means the amount of protein, carbs and fats that you have in your daily diet. One way I do that is by having an app on my phone, which is a carb counter. The one that I use, you have to pay a subscription if you want to get the full premium version, which gives you loads and loads of recipes as well, keto recipes. And
I just want to add to that as well, I was kind of a bit anti knowing about the macros to start
very
off
dubious,
with,
weren't you? Yeah.
Because I've never been a recipe follower. I find it very, very difficult.
Everything in.
I do. I just chuck it all in, and it always seems to work okay. So I was like, why do I need to do this? But actually, you do actually learn quite a lot from these little apps, or just using maybe something like a graph or something that you found on the internet. There's plenty of options out there for you to try. It's not, you don't just have to fork out for an app if you don't want to. You can actually find out quite a bit of information on the internet about your macros and how much net carbs, that's what you need to know, is in each of the items of food that you're eating. So now I'm actually okay with it. I'm not as fastidious as he is, but then between the two of us,
I'm weighing it all the time. But actually, I'm not weighing it so much now after having the app for a week or two. Now, I grate my cheese. I know more or less how many ounces it is. So, and I'm staying well below my carb limit. This app, you put in your weight and it works out for you how many grams of carb you should be having each day. And it said for me 27 grams of carbs, and that I think is
too much.
It's too much, and I'm having way below 20. But as long as I'm getting the carbs from the green vegetables, especially, that's the right place to get your carbs from. A lot of people think that keto is just meat and fat, and it's not. It's not a really high protein diet. You're talking about 70% fats, and you're talking about 25 5% protein, I think, and 5% carbs, and it's the good carbs that you're aiming for. You get from your green leafy vegetables, and cauliflower as well is a good one. Let's move on to number 3. 3. Put your thumb up. 3. No, that's 4. That's 3.
Hey!
Number 3. So, number 3, the third way that you can get into keto flu is
minerals.
Minerals, with sodium especially. That was the one thing I read about recently, something we've just learned about. If your salt intake is not very good, that can give you that feeling of, oh.
As a result of ketosis, we actually become far more efficient. Our internal organs become way more efficient. The kidneys become especially efficient at dealing with the salt. What we need to do is we need to make sure that we're eating foods that contain sodium, but also we need magnesium and we need potassium. Those are the big 3. I could go on all day about the minerals that we need, but those are the big 3.
Green vegetables, good sources of those things.
Green vegetables and oily fish is another very good source of various different minerals. We will go into that on another occasion as well, because there's so much that I need to tell you about oily fish and which fish that we need to be eating as well, because there's right fish and there's wrong fish.
And a lot of those, some of those minerals as well, if you get the kind of leg cramps, when your legs get really busy and you can't relax them at night or whenever, that is a potassium thing. So
and a magnesium.
Just make sure you eat the green vegetables. We can't stress green vegetables enough, really. And the amount of salt that I saw was 4 to 5 grams of salt per day. 4 to 5 grams, your doctor might say, is too much salt to be taking in on a normal day. And they'll give you warnings about blood pressure, mainly because salt can raise your blood pressure. But the thing to think about is, again, that your kidneys are going to be dealing with that extra salt because they're more efficient. And also, while you're on keto, you're going to be losing visceral fat first. That's the fat around here and the fat around your internal organs and the fat around your blood vessels. And if you're losing that, you're going to feel better, you're going to be able to exercise more, and because you're doing that, your blood pressure is going to go down. And your doctor will be amazed when you go to your doctor to speak about this. Don't take our word for it, do your own research. We always say this, don't we? You should be doing research into this. Keto isn't just a simple fad thing that you should do and just eat loads of meat and fat. Do the research. There are levels of things, and you need to just adjust and keep adjusting for your own body, because it's different for everybody.
Absolutely,
and talk to your doctor as well.
Talk to your GP.
This is really important, especially if you're on diabetes medication.
Or if you're on any kind of medication. If you're on high blood pressure medication or statins or any kind of type 2 diabetes or diabetic medication, before you launch into this, you really do need to go and have a chat with your doctors, then make an informed decision about how you want to proceed.
Or ask us in the comments. And we can point you to different videos by different medical professionals. And we're always finding out as well. That's why we say don't take every single piece of advice that we give, because there are times when we're going to be wrong or we just haven't learnt yet. We're continually just making adjustments.
What we're doing is learning every single day and just wanting to pass on what we're learning to you guys as we learn it.
So, well, that's all for today, I think. Just remember, keto is like a dog. It's not just for Christmas. It's for the whole of your long and healthy life. Just ask Luna the dog. Bye for now.